Welcome back to my channel. I'm Claire from Craft Be Claire, and this is part 3 of my loaded pocket tag. Part 2 showed you how I use Be Happy stationery to decorate the tag and stick it together to create the pockets, and today I'm going to embellish them. So I'm just making a cluster out of scrap bits of paper, lace and some rickrack, which I'm going to use on a hidden paper clip to decorate and embellish. And then we'll move on to using lots more of the Be Happy stationery from the Cafe Lait kit, which I will I will pop a link in words. I will pop a link to Be Happy's Ko-fi shop in the comments below in the description. So just add in a button with a bit of thread behind it. This is slightly wider thread. I think it's like tapestry thread, but it's quite wiry as well actually, and it just creates a really nice little cluster of texture behind images and focal points. So I'm just going to pop that to one side to dry. Once I've stuck it on to one of my hidden paper clips, and then we're going to crack on with making some of the tags that I want to include and stuff this pocket. So these are little journal cards. They're slightly smaller than postcards. You could print them whatever size you want. I've just printed them on some white cardstock. It's quite thin, quite flimsy, so it won't be too bulky for the pocket. I'm going to cut out all 4 of them, and I'm just tearing them. I like a torn edge if I'm going to distress things, because I just think it holds the ink better, which is what I'm going to do here. Not sure if I'm going to use all of the cards, but I will have them for later. I'll just put them in my journal fodder box and come back to maybe use some of them later. They're really cool little images actually. They bring a little bit of steampunk along. Gotta have a bee, always like a bee. And I'm going to punch in the top corner so that I can use a bulb pin to pop them together, and then when it comes to journaling on them, I can then pull them apart, journal, and do whatever I want on them. Or this might be a giveaway. I'm currently at 50 subscribers. When I get to 100, I will do a giveaway. Something that I'll make or have already made especially, and I will give this away. So please like, follow, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your crafty groups, and let's build my channel. So you can see I've decided just to use the 3 of them. Grabbing a bulb pin, I'm just going to pin them together. To carry over the lacy theme, I think I might add a little cluster of lace to this little cluster, this little group of journal cards. Cluster, is that what I'm calling it? After this activity, I did make the tag all in one hit, but the video for it would have been way too long for one video. So I've split the video into 3, but my desk at the end of this looked like a craft army. It was like there was just stuff everywhere, which gave me a big nudge to clear up and sort some. So these are the tags I'm going to use. I'm going to use these 2 from the Be Happy Stationery Cafe Lait kit, which is the kit I've used throughout this make. Then just nice backgrounds, and I'm going to embellish them using some more lace and possibly some more Be Happy stationery and some of my other bits and bobs that I've got out that coordinate with this. So just using a scrap from the Be Happy stationery, I'm just going to embellish this tag first. This is a gel plate print that I made recently. I've got quite a stack of them. When I do gel plate printing, I just make a whole load of them and let them dry, and then I just have them in my collage paper trays, which if you've watched any of my other videos, I actually have sorted into colours. So it makes it really easy when I'm collaging that I can just grab the brown tray, or for my glue book, for the coloured glue books I can grab. Yeah, it just makes life a little bit easier to be able to just grab a theme or a colour. And I do love to sort things. I think that's part of my neuro-spiciness. So just wanting to embellish this tag a little, carrying on that steampunky theme, I've grabbed a clock out of my stamps on book paper. And you can see my desk is starting to be quite a mess and struggling to find things. But we crack on, we carry on. This is just some netting that I got from a scrap store in Gloucester, the Gloucester Recycling Centre at City Works. It's an amazing scrap store. You literally, if there's anything you want, you just find it. And you pay for a yearly subscription, and then it's like £11 for a big shopper bag full, and you just go around and fill the bag. There's tubs, lace, buttons, fabrics, papers. They have this tiny little corner that's just full of scrapbook papers, which I love because I just sit there for a good half hour just going through and taking just some bits and bobs. I don't need the whole kit sometimes, I just want a little bit. So I've finished that tag. I'm just going to leave it to dry on the side, and while I work on the other one. Where are my pegs? This is a teeny tiny hole punch I've used, and I'm going to use just some string to pop on the top of the tag. This is just jute string that I grabbed from the gardening sections in the pound shop or any of the cheapy shops. Yeah, you get like 3 rolls for £1, and I do like the jute string. It's really nice to work with. It gives a lovely kind of vintagey, rough and ready feel, especially if you use one of your dibby dabber spiky things, your pokey holy things, and you just pull the rope apart. It gives a nice kind of edge on it. So that one is going to go in the back pocket, and I'm just going to run through embellishing the second tag. Using a bit more of the Be Happy stationery. This is the one that I used as a background. So this is just a scrap left over. Sticking it onto the tag. You'll see on these tags I've got quite a big hole at the top. So what I've tried to do is cover that so that I can just do a small punch. Using a teeny bit more of this. And I'm just going. I tore the edges on an angle just to give it a little bit more definition. These are some border stickers that I think I picked these up from the scrap store, and because it's got the Eiffel Tower on it, I thought it'd go really nicely with the Cafe au Lait theme. More stickers from scrap stores. Do love a scrap store. I often talk about them. So the 2 main ones I go to are Gloucester Resource Centre in City Works, I've already mentioned, and the Orinoco Scrap Store in Banbury. They both have very different things that they bring to the party, but I always seem to manage to find some really good junk, really. Other people's trash is my treasures and all that. So just going to pop this little sticker label down. I possibly will add a quote to this as well, not sure yet. Just pulling out that thread so it does show from behind. Sticking it down. More book page stamps. This one's a tiny little crown. I've got a stamp set that's mannequins. And it's got a male figure and a female figure, and then some other bits and bobs sewing-y, and quite cute little crown. Just picking a quote and popping that on. Add some more of the jute string to the hole. No, you need a needle, Claire. Oh. And then I'm just going to fray the jute string again, just giving that vintagey feel, that little bit of steampunky feel that is just fits so well with the Cafe au Lait kit. Be Happy does have a Retro Revolution steampunk kit, which if you follow the vintage button, Lindsey has used in her loaded tag. I will pop a link to Lindsey's channel, the vintage button, in the description as well. That's where my inspiration for this tag came from. And she does a really good walkthrough of how to make the tag, as did I on video 1. So nearly finished the front pockets. I'm using some lace and some rickrack that I'm going to use to have as a hangy thing for this tag. And rather than tying these, I used some of that wiry thread to wrap round, and it just creates the hangy bit for the tag. Just double knot it, and I've left the threads long, just so it just gives another level to the lace at the top. There you go. Stuff those tags back in that top pocket, and just use a few bits and bobs to fill the tuck spot. So the front pockets on each of these, the little ones, are just like tiny little tuck spots. So I'm just going to tuck a few stickers in. I've got a romantic couple having a kiss, which kind of goes with the Cafe au Lait and the Paris and the lovey-dove theme. I'm going to keep some of the white edge on this. I normally cut the whole white edge off, but I'm going to distress it. And so I'm just cutting off a very fine edge, almost just kiss cutting it, and then using my distressy thing and some ink, just browning it. The stark white is what I don't like. I don't like to leave white space. I don't overly like the stark white. So just leaving those in the pocket. Add my little dragonfly sticker. So, side one done. So that's 3 pockets filled. 2 to go. So on the other side, I'm going to use this sheet from the Be Happy stationery, just tearing it using my tag punch. I'm going to create 3 different size tags. On the top of this punch, it tells me the widths of the tags that I can punch, so I'm just tearing the paper to the correct width. So that's the larger one done. The middle-sized one, just tear it along, and then the teeny tiny baby one. This is a lovely sheet from the kit actually. It's like vintage text all over the sheet, and then it's got some digital stamps on top of it. I think this sheet may be one I print several sheets off and I'll use in varying activities. Just rounding off the corners. Ugh, that's not straight. So I'm going to snip the top off and try again. What is going on with my tag? I realised on the third go that what was happening is it wasn't going all the way through because the paper was slightly curled. So just have to flick the punch over, and I think it was doing the same with this one. It just wasn't lining up. It was being an absolute pain. And then I realised, actually, I cut that too thin. So these are the 2. I'm just going to cut another strip, making sure I get it on the small side. And again, you can see I'm tearing the strips because I like to distress on a torn strip, on a torn edge. And then I just measured how deep that pocket is, and I'm going to layer these tags, but I'm not going to join these tags together. But what I am going to do is decorate them so that they coordinate with each other. They can be used as gift tags or journal cards, so don't want to put too much onto them. I'm distressing the back as well because, as I said, I printed these on cardstock, just white cardstock, and the bright white, it doesn't really fit with the theme. So just using my ink pad thingy, my blender, is it? Whatever it's called. Just distressing the backs of them using the same ink. It's a great way of cleaning off some of the ink of your distresser as well. Going to add a little bit of black ink, just a really small amount, just to tone it a little more. I mean, you could spray this with coffee, you could tea stain it, but for quickness, I was just distressing with the ink pads. So now I've got my 3 tickets. I'm going to use that little bit of tape. If you remember right back in the second video near the beginning, I tore off an extra bit of tape and I had it just stuck it to my storage box, and I'm using that tape to link all 3 tags together to make sure they coordinate. This is my favourite washi tape. I just love it. Also coordinates with the crown on the tag on the front pocket. And then I gathered some other washi tapes out of my washi tape drawer. That's the script one that I used in the second video to embellish the pocket. You can just see it in the corner on the left of the screen on top of the lace. And just making sure each of the tags has both of the tapes so they link together. And then finally just going to add some of this washi tape, which is like a tape measure. It's really quite cool. I love it. And a last bit of tape. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where is it? There it is. And this one is like a gingham, but a brown gingham. So they already coordinate, and then just using some of my brown stickers, I'm going to just embellish them a little bit more. I don't want to do too much on them, as I said, because I want them to be able to be used to journal on or used as actual gift tags if needed. I don't normally make gift tags, but I think this year for Christmas I might make some of my own gift tags. I do cut out Christmas cards and I keep them, and I am hoping to do some kind of Christmas crafty adventy thing, possibly in collaboration with Lindsey from the Vintage Button, but we'll see nearer the time. Probably need to start thinking about that in late September, early October. So I'm sorry I mentioned the C word. I love it. So just keep going. So just pulling out a few other things that I might be able to use in my tags. I did see, where is it? I saw it's like an ready-made tag with butterflies on it. There it is. It's like a little specimen card. Just cutting off the white edge, snipping the corners, just give it a little distress, and then I can use that in one of my pockets as well. And let's pop this all together and then finish off. So I just want to add a little bit of sentiment. So I haven't really overly embellished the middle tag or the big tag because the small one's going to sit at the front. So that's the one I'm really kind of concentrating on, and the others will just tuck behind it. So I don't want too much on them because I also want this to be either be able to be used just as really a little journal in itself or pop it into a journal. There you go. So that's that tag finished. And let's pop them in. That dragonfly sticker keeps falling out, so I'm just going to stick it on the big tag. I really wanted to include it, and this way it includes it and it just stops falling out everywhere. It just gives it a little bit more. Whilst going through my scraps, I also found this little vintage cinema poster and this little strip with butterflies. I was given in one of the Happy Mails I received. So I just thought, you know what, that's a really cool little, it's almost just like a little card. It's got a butterfly printed on the front and the back, and then, well, it's obviously printed in a strip and just folded and torn, but it just makes a nice little addition to the pocket. So we're very nearly finished. I'll show you the finished tag. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, share with your friends, do all the things we need to do to grow my channel. And thanks for watching. I really hope you like this tag.